Hey everybody, this is Sean. Today's video, I will be taking you through creating Adobe Analytics segments for activation and reporting. So some learning objectives today. We will be creating segments within Adobe Analytics. We'll be discussing some strategies for grouping these themes, and then we will learn how to filter these data by segments. Some benefits for this: we can use these segments for first-party remarketing. We can simplify your recurring reports. You can also use these segments to filter your advertising cloud data for easier graphs. So let's jump into Adobe Analytics and see how it looks. All right, so right now I am in Analysis Workspace. I have my placement data and my spend data. So in this fake data account, obviously it doesn't make so much sense in terms of what we're looking at, but a lot of times what you might find with your advertising cloud data is that these placement names have a lot of themes in common, right? So you might have places that say lookalikes in them, or places that say site retargeting, or places that say CRM data. Instead of displaying it with all these rows, because the chances are there's a lot of placements you're running, maybe what we want to do is we want to bucket the themes together. So when we create our reports in our dashboards and our analyses, we have themed segments we can utilize. So it's really simple to do. If I want to say create a segment for all placements that contain placement 1, in this example, I can right click it, create a segment. It creates the logic for me. In this case, it says equals this placement, but what I want to do is I want to say contains. I want to get rid of the equals, I want to say contains, I want to get rid of all this stuff that I don't need. So I just want all placements that contain placement 1. I can call this placement data for placement 1. And now I have a segment here. If I wanted to, maybe it's not the best example, but if I wanted to, I can hit this button, say make this Experience Cloud audience, and send it to the Experience Cloud, either Audience Manager or Target or Ad Cloud, so you can use this data or people who have this data in their profiles and retarget them. So I can save this. And if I want to just say, all right, well, let me do placement 2 now, instead of going through that process again, what I can do is I can click on this segment I created. It's always going to be the first one in this blue area. I can edit it. And then I can say, well, let me do everything that has placement 2. So let's get rid of the 1. We'll add a 2. And now I can save as. So now I have 2 segments. So what I can do is instead of having all this data here, I can just drop these segments here. And now I have my spend by these themes. So this way it's a little cleaner. I can drop my placements under here. I can filter it a little better. But it makes visuals a lot easier. So if I want to visualize a donut between these and say, let me do the spend. Now instead of having all these placement names, we can start to bucket themes together. We can see how we're actually performing. Okay, now back in PowerPoint, what we learned today. We learned how to create some segments. Really easy to do. Right-click it, create segment, and change your Boolean logic. We discovered how we can use them for remarketing. So maybe not the best examples in terms of the data, but creating segments is as simple as that. You can create the segments based on site activity, on placement activity. You can create Experience Cloud audience from it, and you can use it within Audience Manager or within Ad Cloud. And then we learned some strategies on enhancing the reports, which is basically just cleaning up all the data you have. You have a lot of placement data. You might have a lot of campaign data, a lot of ad data. Instead of having 400 rows for it, maybe we have 10 rows that reports on it. So this way your graphs and your trend lines are a little bit more readable, and you can get some insights from it much quicker. So I hope you enjoyed the video today, and I hope to see you soon.